Pay-to-play. It's a taboo topic for a lot of people. A lot of people are afraid to talk about it. And for people that are new to the music industry, they don't really know a lot about the ins and outs regarding that subject. But we're here to talk about it today, and we're not afraid to talk about it. Because we don't give a fuck! We're here with a lot of really awesome local musicians and a promoter and a musician as well. And let's go around the stools and tell everybody who you are, and we'll start from there.
Alright, my name is TJ Richardson. I run sound at the Maidstone Theater in Ypsilanti, and I'm also the former guitar player of the heavy metal horror show Halloween.
I am Erin Accomando, and I am the singer, lead vocalist, and songwriter in Elsie Binks, and I am from the general Detroit area.
I am Ricky Rocks, bass player for Mound Road Engine and New Day Revolution, as well as talent buyer, booking agent, and promoter for Diesel Concert Theater in Chesterfield and the Hamtramck Corner Bar in Hamtramck.
I'm John Taggy. I play guitar for Kings Without Crowns here in the Detroit area.
Well, welcome you guys. Thank you so much for being here and being willing to have an open discussion about gameplay with us.
We've been wanting to do this for a while, and we couldn't have picked better people to be here, so we're really grateful for y'all to be here. So first, let's just go around the stools again, and just with one word. What's the first one-word kind of description you have for Pay-to-Play?
Depression.
Unfair.
Okay.
Damaged.
Yeah.
Expensive.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
That's a great one.
All very good.
Right. I picked abuse.
Okay. And I picked scam.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So now let's go back around and explain why you picked that word, and give us a little bit of your experience as well, like your own personal experience with it.
So we have depression from TJ.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the reason I picked that word, it's mostly because a lot of people, really young, starting to come out and everything, and they kind of get suckered into playing or paying a lot of money to play certain gigs, and it's like that fire slowly starts to die.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? One of my personal experiences was the first time we ever played this venue that's pretty well known in Detroit. I'm not gonna say any names, but a lot of nationals play there. And it was this metal festival that was booked in dead of winter. So we had to sell tickets, and the number of tickets you sold did turn into your time slot. So we sell all our tickets, give them all the money, and me and my other guitar player are waiting in the lobby. Okay. Hey, we're from such and such, we're just waiting to know when we can load in. Yeah, just wait here. It's the owner. You guys put the show together. Yeah, just wait here. We'll come see you. Okay. So we're waiting there. 30 minutes pass. What band are you guys in? We're in such and such. Okay, you guys go on in 5 minutes.
Ooh.
5 minutes? Doors are at 6:30.
And how much money did you just hand them?
Yeah, a lot. A lot. It was 40 tickets at $20 a pop. I think we sold all of them. Yeah. So, we were like, oh, okay, it's 6:25. You're telling us we're going on at 6:30. Doors are at 6:30. Yep. Good luck. And so we had to load up our stuff in 5 minutes. Load all our stuff. Played first, and as soon as we got done playing, I look over and the security guards are unplugging my stuff and carrying it outside.
Wow.
Yeah. So. We played first, and we loaded our stuff up. We were like, okay, whatever, it's done. We go inside, and there was a band from Cleveland who played like 3 bands after us, and they played an hour set.
Oh.
They, left their stuff online or on stage, and sure enough, what ended up happening is it dug into the last band's set, or into the next band's set. So that was my personal experience with it. It was kind of lame.
And I'm sure that's not the only time.
No. There's a lot.
Ask.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff like that. I mean, what was it? It's just that that was probably the worst, to be honest with you. But I've sold tickets for national acts and sure enough, we got like 14 people show up. You
Well,
know.
before we go to Aaron, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I guess I can ask everybody this, but do you ever feel appreciated at least when you do this, or does it seem like you're always just treated like, like you've just
There was 90% of the time, I'd say, probably 99% of the time, I should say, I don't feel appreciated at all. It's like, okay, I did all this and I worked my butt off to sell these tickets. There was one time where, the owner really stuck his neck out for us and helped us out. He said, okay, hey, you guys did really great. Go ahead and give me the money and I'll put you guys on right before the national act. So that was cool.
Okay.
But that's really rare.
Gotcha. Well, what about you, Aaron?
So I said unfair, which is funny. My secondary word, in case you stole it, was abusive. So it kind of works together. Excuse me. So I think that my biggest issue with it is that it creates this false sense of success. And people say, oh my God, I see you're opening for this band and this band and this band. You guys are doing so great.
Yep.
You must be making all this money. When are you going on tour?
Right.
Listen, you know how broke we are from playing in front of all these people.
Right.
And that's what bothers me the most, is that it's so unfair for these broke ass bands that, I'm in a very specific situation where I have a producer engineer who works with us, who goes on, and by the road I mean to the gigs with us. We own our own equipment because we stuck our necks out and bought it all because Sweetwater is awesome. And so like we've put ourselves in a decent position, but we're not trying to tell anybody that we're making any money on any of it yet. If I make $50 at a show on merch, I'm like walking out the door happy.
Right.
And so when people, that's the unfair part.
But the $50 covered your meals while you're out, and the gas to get there, and whatever clothes you had to buy,
Right.
all of the incidentals.
Right, and then we may have paid $700 to pay that show.
Yeah.
Pay to play that show.
Right.
And, it helps that my band has a lot of people in it. At the end of the day, there's 8 people on stage. And if they brought people in, they helped pay.
So it helps on that end because
Yes.
you all can split it, but then getting paid on the other end, having a lot of people in your band.
Yeah, well, if we get paid anything at all, we all have an
Mhm.
understanding that it goes toward the pot,
Correct.
Yeah.
Like we did go on tour, in November, which was one show in California and back.
That was awesome.
But that was a huge expense,
Yeah.
and we are planning another actual tour in April,
Mhm.
but we still don't know how we're gonna do it,
Mhm.
logistically.
Right.
Because we already have 2 pay-to-plays in California, that on top of the cost of getting there and back, we have to worry about. So it's this very hard, and again, unfair, it's an abusive system because it makes people think you're doing well, and it's like, no dude, we need as much support as possible. You can't sit back and not support your band's merchandise, their songs, whatever it is they're selling, go buy it, because it's this unfair screen that we're successful. And of course everybody has a little bit of success, but it's not as much as it appears to be.
Exactly, it's a smokescreen, and the thing is what I want people to understand, going off of your point, is the fact that when you walk in the door to do your show, you're in the hole several $100s already.
Yeah.
So even if you sold 50 t-shirts or whatever, or
Right.
some downloads from, download cards or CDs or whatever, you might reach 0
Right.
and walk out at, I broke even tonight, but look what you had to do to break even. Even, I mean, it was like you came in, like I said, in the hole, and that's the hard part. And then, but you still go out, and I've been to your shows, we've actually done shows with you, and you perform your rear end off. I mean, your whole band, you guys are super tight, you're professional, you do a great job, you all sound amazing every time. And it's like, how do you carry all that weight, walk in the hole that deep, and still be able to go on stage and perform the way that you do? So kudos.
I was saying, is that rhetorical? I hope so. I don't know what the answer to that question is, but
It's
thank
very
you.
tough.
Thank you. It
Yeah.
is very tough. That's the hardest thing. It's an abusive system, and I feel
I
like
don't
it just
think that your average fan knows that either.
Yeah.
No.
We were going to mention that earlier.
Or whoever does.
The fans don't know. The fans think that we're making money just showing up because it's our job. We wrote the music, we
Right.
bought the instruments, we bought the gear, we pour our heart and soul into it, and they're assuming the club has paid us to be there.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
definitely
We
not
paid
the case.
to be
We
there.
paid to be there. Right.
Yeah. It's not the case at all. So yeah, I mean that's actually before we move on to Ricky, I wanted to also say thank you for your transparency.
Yeah.
Because seriously, it's easy for musicians to sit here and glorify ourselves, right? And
Oh,
be like,
we opened for
oh,
this band
yeah,
and
exactly,
that band
and blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. But what you've done right now
Yeah.
was huge because you tore that whole veil down and just said, hey,
Yeah.
this is the truth, and that's one of the reasons why we had you come here. So I really appreciate the transparency because
Of course.
really that's what this is about. This is about, hey guys, this is the real deal.
Yeah.
Let's take all the makeup and all the veils
Yeah.
and
Maybe
all
not
that
the
stuff
makeup.
down. Yeah.
It's too many lights for that.
Yeah. So we take that down and we want people to see the raw thing that's going on here.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying what you said. It was very poignant. Okay, so Ricky, let's see what you got.
I said damaged because, I see it from both sides as a talent buyer and a booking agent, a promoter, as well as a musician. I've done like TJ was talking about selling $800-900 worth of tickets to play on a national show and you're playing when doors open. I've done it a lot when I was younger, trying to get out in front of as many people as you can, but when doors are at 6:30, you're playing at 6:30 and you got a 15-20 minute set and
nobody's even out of work yet.
Nobody's there. You're playing in front of a regular crowd that you just, worked your butt off to sell $800 worth of tickets for. And another reason I say damage is, I'm not going to go full out and say that bands shouldn't have to sell tickets, but I think they should be cut in on what they're selling. There's really no incentive to me for a band to go sell a buttload of tickets just to give it all to a promoter.
Yeah.
I've done shows where, my birthday show last year, Rockstock, that I did. None of the bands, I told the bands, you're not going to be able to get paid. I got to pay the headliner all this money. But if you would like to make money, here's an option for you. I will give you these tickets. You can sell them for whatever you want. Keep half of it. And I ended up giving them all of it because we did really well. But as a promoter and a talent buyer, the reason that there is pay to play, the reason promoters do that is because if, say, you have a big national band playing, if a band didn't have to put some skin in the game, a lot of bands just won't promote it. And as a promoter, that's what you want every band to do for every show, to actually promote it, to get butts in the seats. If you have a big national, that's coming in, there's going to be people there. There's really zero incentive for a band to really promote it, and I think that an easy fix for it, an easy fix for it is to cut the bands in on it. If you're playing a show and tickets are $20, tell bands you can sell them for 10, keep 7 of it. Just give me $3 a ticket. Split the risk. It doesn't have to be give me all the money or don't sell tickets. There is a medium.
Because basically, what you're at this point, I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to make this point, is that they want the bands to have skin in the game, but the problem is they have all the skin. You know what I mean? There's no skin in the game from anybody else. So it's like, here's all my skin. You know what I mean? And what do I get? So I agree with what you're saying, is that there should be a compromise where it's like, here's some commission for the work that you've done.
Right.
Because it's just not fair.
Well, because what you're gonna get is what something TJ alluded to, was that you're getting these young bands, mostly that are doing this in hopes of getting in front of people. And I've seen this hundreds of times with bands. They'll keep doing this and it'll slowly just break them down, and then bands break up.
Yeah, exactly.
And musicians
Can't
swear, they swear off playing. They're like, it's not worth it for me to do this. I remember playing shows and asking the guys, did we sell our tickets? No, man, we're like 20 tickets short. If we don't sell all these, we can't play.
Or you got to bring the money.
So it's like, all right, let's go to the ATM and you get $200 out, I'll get $200 out, and it's demoralizing, and it's horrible. I don't believe bands should have to sell massive amounts of tickets.
Yeah.
You know, say if you go to a band, you know, because there's been times where I've seen shows at a 300 capacity venue, 4 opening bands. Each of those 4 bands had to sell 40 tickets. The bands pretty much sold the place out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
In that way, a promoter doesn't even really have to do his job.
Well,
Exactly.
You know,
that's another
That's
talking
another
point
thing.
You
for
know,
later.
the band's already sold it out.
Right.
They already made you your money back.
So they're the promoters.
They're the promoters, and
And
I don't agree with that at all.
No.
I think 10 tickets, so I know that you're gonna at least try to promote it.
Yeah.
You know, and steep discount if the tickets, because there's been times where like, Ricky, I need you to sell these 20 tickets. I'll let you sell them for 18 pre-sale. That's stupid. It's a waste.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a $20 ticket, sell them for 10. Keep half of it. You'll take $5 a ticket.
Yeah.
You know, it's an easy fix, and promoters just have to really just do their job.
And they don't, because I've actually tried to negotiate with some of them and say, okay, well, all right, what are the tickets? How much? Blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you what, how can we split it? And what I get is, I'll get back with you, and then a day later,
There's always a band.
there's another
that will
band
do
that's
it.
on the
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
and we're not, and it's like, oh, okay, so basically you found a sucker that was, you know, that didn't want to fight with
And
you
it might
about
not
the
have
negotiation.
even have been a sucker. It might have just been a young band
That
that
doesn't know any better.
That doesn't know
Yeah.
any better, and we've
Yeah,
all
I didn't mean
been-
that as a derogatory
Yeah.
comment, but I mean, because we've been there too. We've been
Yes.
that sucker, you know, we've been the people that have sold all the tickets and brought all the money in. Oh, here, can we play now?
Thank
you
so
so much. Oh yeah, let me grab my $13,000 worth of gear
Right.
and go on the stage and, you know, and play and sweat my brains out, you know, and it's like, really? So, yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that there needs to be not even a room for negotiation, but I mean, but I think there also needs to be a deal right out of the gate where it's like, okay, this is how we do it. You actually get something out of this, you know, so you're more apt to sell the tickets because you have skin in the game, but so do I. You know, we both have something to win and lose out of this. I don't just get to sit back and just let everybody do all the work for me, you know, and reap all the benefits as a promoter. I don't think that's right. So, did you have anything else, or do we move to John, or whatever you want?
You know, it's just like,
I
you
kind
know,
of interjected.
you know, as a band, you know, as a musician, you know, why, you know, I understand from the band side, and I take what I know as a musician and use that as a promoter. Why would I want to sell 40 tickets, give you 100% of money, when I could easily, you know, book my own show
Yeah.
and sell 40 tickets and I get to keep all of it?
Yeah.
You know, and what happens when you start telling these bands, give me all the money? One, you're getting young bands, green bands, bands that may not be ready to even
quality,
play.
yeah.
You're not going to get the really good bands to play on that, and the show's going to suffer.
Yeah.
The show's going to be suffer big
The
time.
audience always suffers, and really, why do we put on shows? Well, we do it for the audience.
Mhm.
So why make the audience suffer because we have bad business practices, you
Right.
know?
Mhm.
So, all right, so John, what do you got?
Well, I went with expensive, and I went with that right out of the gate because I've been in like all these positions, as I'm sure, you know, reflecting we all have. It gets crazy. I've been in the band when I was in All's Faded, and we were starting out. We were the young band, which we've all discussed, and we were trying to sell tickets. We were calling people from high school. We were calling our cousins or brothers, whatever.
Mom,
you
please
know.
come see my band.
Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
hey, anybody. You know, we were doing anything, and we were ending up in like pawn shops. There goes a guitar. There goes a computer. It was anything to
Because you're so
Get-
hungry.
get that. Yeah, and I think if I had to go for a different word, it would have been addicting. They're giving you something that should normally be out of your reach. We were inexperienced. We did well, but you know, we were a new band on the block, and you know, we went from nobodies to opening up a sold out show with Puddle of Mud.
Yeah.
We did great, but you know, that gave us this huge hedge. We had egos, and we were just running to do every show we could get. We were double, triple booked sometimes, and you're talking, you can't have people buying tickets to see you at 3 different venues
The
on
same
one
people,
day.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of that comes down to an experience. Surprisingly, I don't hate pay to play. I feel it's very misunderstood. I've kind of taken it into a way of showing a band's value to an extent now. And I've been in All's Faded towards the end of it. We were selling all our tickets. You know, we went from the green band that was pawning stuff to all of a sudden we were making sure we were booking shows that would grant us that exposure we could sell the tickets to. It was knowing that that was the right show for us, not oversaturating the scene, and we would make merch money, which was awesome. I loved it. So like we hit that breaking even point, and that was great. It gave us a lot of opportunity, but I reflect and go, wow, we was such a struggle to get there. I mean, you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars down the drain.
So even after you sold some merch and stuff, you're still in the hole, because you got to make up not only for the show that you actually finally capitalized on, but add up all the ones behind you.
Yeah, I mean, we would have never made that. We would have just probably just taken forever to get there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it worked out so well towards the end of what we were doing. And with what I've got going on now, we've got a pay to play coming up. I think it's an essential part of the world we live in now as musicians. Like we're stuck with it at this point. I wish it was a lot more fair, but I wish there was the incentive you were talking about.
Yeah.
There's nothing for us. I mean, I'm talking. We're pulling out all the stops. We're trying to be professional. I don't like the term local band.
Yeah.
I don't consider us local. We're up and coming. We come from years of experience at this point, and we have a stage show we bring with us. I'm selling all these tickets. I go, the tickets are sold, no problem. I go, they're gone. Don't worry about it. And it's bodies through the door, which is important. And we don't even get a guarantee that we can bring in all our gear, because we can't outperform, outplay, and show off too much. You have a giant logo that lights up or light up risers, and all of a sudden I'm getting stopped at the door and told that I can't bring that in.
Yeah, because you can't have something better than the headliner does.
Yeah.
We actually, I think you may have experienced it as well. There was a female-fronted, heavier band coming through that would not accept female-fronted openers.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't even know about that.
Yeah.
But it happens to us all the time.
Yeah.
Eight pieces don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, can you not do that? I understand that one though.
Yeah.
And we've been in some disastrous situations. Opening band on a pay to play, there's no support for us whatsoever.
Yeah.
People look at it as we're doing great, but we were playing with OTEP and they shut down our merch booth and kicked us out.
Oh, I remember that whole thing.
And
That's
you
the
know,
only opportunity you have to make money.
Yeah,
Pay to play
and
shows is
that was-
selling merch.
and we sold over our ticket slot. Like $1,000 is what they wanted
I
for that
guess we
show.
got that money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we
You
sold
know.
$1,500 worth. We still got an early slot.
Yeah.
We did well. I mean, we were the first band on. Doors open, we were on. I don't understand that one, but
Yeah.
you know, but that should show the unfairness of it.
Well, exactly. It's like this. Once the club or the promoter, whoever's in charge, gets the money, all their respect for you is gone. You're
Yes.
like, well, thanks for that.
Right.
Don't have any respect for you anymore. You're just a minnow.
Stay out of the way.
Yeah, get out of the way. Here's your corner. You're going on in 5 minutes. Oh, no one told you? Oh, well, you're lucky you're even here. And that's really how you feel when you leave. You're like,
Where's the
gosh,
green M&Ms?
yeah, exactly. You're like, man, I didn't even have a writer. I just came in with just
want to play in front of your
just
people.
want to play, and you guys just treat me like I'm some bum, and it's like, and I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of times where, the opening acts are better than the headliner, and then these people have the audacity to treat you like that, and it sucks, and we're paying their salary, so. So I'll let you go with your deal.
So I picked abuse, and I don't want this to come off as whiny. And by the way, we don't want this whole episode to come off as whiny. It's just an
Just the truth.
opportunity to open the door for discussion, because we don't want anybody to be blacklisted, and,
Yeah.
but there has to be some sort of a solution or compromise that we can come to for all of it. But when did it shift? Because you were in a band back in the 80s, and you got paid $500 to $1,500 to play a local show in a local bar or club. You got paid for that. Now in 2018, we're paying $500 to $1,500 to play in a local club or a bar.
I actually might have an idea of where that came from. That's, yeah, I don't mean to cut you off,
No,
but
you're fine.
that is one of those things where you can't keep people in clubs anymore, and that's a huge thing. Being a sound guy, I see it all the time. You know, a band will draw in 50 people in a club that holds 200, looks packed, and all of a sudden, as soon as the band's done, they'll leave, and there's 3 other bands. You know, so they want to guarantee the bar's going to get their drinking money that you know they had envisioned or whatever. Another thing is a big national act. They come in, they're probably going to ask a stupid guarantee. I mean, a really high one.
So say no.
Yeah,
no.
that's where I was going to say. Yeah, you know, you have to kind of stand up and say, okay, well, my time is worth as much as anybody's. You know.
But that's the problem, though. On that note, though, is that a lot of times I've talked to different promoters about this. It's like, well, if we tell this band no, then someone else is going to say yes to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So they'll just go there now, and then they get all the drinking money.
Well,
So
and it's the same thing with if we say no as the band, another younger band is going to come through and say, and you know, now
it's this whole vicious cycle that we're trying to put a stop to.
Well, and I just, to finish on with the abuse, the artists who paint sell their paintings. They sell their graphics to make logos. Their teachers that teach get paid. Poets get paid. Authors get paid to write. Carpenters get paid to build things. And we're musicians and artists that have a specific skill set, and we want to share that and get paid for it as well. And not have, I mean, I would never commission a painting and have them pay me to, could you pay me to paint a picture of me?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Ego much?
Right. Right. We buy our own gear. We don't require backline. Some clubs like to have a drum set or whatever, but we pay for our own gear. We pay to get there. You know, we practice and spend hours and hours and pour our heart and soul into it, and it would just be really nice to be compensated for it in one way or another. And even if it can't be $1,500, you can have drinks, or we'll provide pizza for you guys, and a good quality sound engineer who will treat you with respect. We're not asking for roses, just like a nice guy that's willing to put a little effort into miking your band properly and making sure he has good cables and good equipment, you know, so that we can present ourselves to your crowd.
Don't treat us like a nuisance. You know. We're human beings, you know, we want to be treated like that minimally. Right?
So I think in a nutshell, that's my point.
Okay. Well, and I guess I picked Scam because, I mean, as I'm a business owner too, I don't just do music and Tone Wars, I also own a business, and I couldn't imagine going out, and it's a pressure washing business, so I couldn't imagine going out and paying people so I could wash their house. You know, and it's kind of like, if I can give you a scenario, you know, where a homeowner calls me and says, well, hey, you know, I live in a neighborhood of a lot of affluent people, and we can afford services like yours. And I'm kind of central in the neighborhood, and I know a lot of people. I'll tell you what, if you pay me $300 to wash my house, I'll let you wash my house. And then my neighbors will see you. And then they'll come out, and they'll ask you to wash their house too. Now, I've been in business 18 years, and a guy like that, I would probably reach to the phone and strangle him, you know. But a new guy might go for that, because in his mind, he'd be like, oh, because I've had that. I've actually had similar things offered to me when I was green in the business, where, well, if you give me a really good deal on washing my deck or my house or whatever, I'll give you 5 phone numbers. Well, 5 phone numbers, that's not a guaranteed sale. That's just guys that are like, who are you and why are you calling me, you know? And I found out really early that that's BS, you know? And in a way, this is the same thing, because they're like, yeah, but you'll get exposure.
Exposure.
Yeah, exposure. Well, for anybody who thinks exposure is worth a lot, I will write you a check that says exposure on it, and you take it to whatever bank you want.
Has anybody ever
You know,
played a show where the headliner came out and observed and like commented? And I think I remember one time, didn't you get asked to go? Aaron,
yeah.
I'm disproving
Jeff
my own
Tate's
point.
manager really liked you a lot.
Yeah, Randy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still
Yep.
keep in contact with him.
Yeah,
actually.
that's good.
It's happened once.
Once.
Yeah, it's happened once.
There you
It
go.
was
And it
great.
hasn't panned out, and that was, I don't even know what show that was.
It was
You guys, yeah.
It's the one we did with you.
Token.
Yeah, I was saying, you guys were there, I just don't
Yeah.
know when. We've opened for him twice now, so I don't remember,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
Randy loved us, and it's not exactly paid off yet, but
Yeah.
the
Never
connection
know.
is there, and you never know.
Yeah.
Typically though, they don't pay
Yeah.
attention.
No,
They stay
they're on
out
the
in their
bus.
vehicle on the bus.
Yeah.
And,
They're in a green room somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, that's what I mean. Like the exposure thing is like what you were saying earlier, Aaron. Like, you know, you get oversold this whole thing where it's like, oh, you're so famous and you're on stage with so and so, and yeah, it's fun, but it's also like it's rewarding in the way that you get to perform. But that's it.
Mhm.
When you get off the stage and everything, because all right, let me give you another analogy. This is something that I've said before in conversations with other people, but when you go to a restaurant. And like the next day, you know, you say, you know, you tell your friends at work, like at the water cooler, yeah, we went to such and such restaurant. Oh, they have the best whatever. No one ever talks about, like, what did you order? Oh, I ordered the steak, or I ordered the this or the that. No one ever talks about the breadsticks. They don't talk about the salad. They don't talk about the water, you know. So basically we have, let's just say we have, you know, 3 bands here, okay? So you get to be water, you get to be salad, and you get to be soup. Okay, so and then you're the headliner. Okay, so the next day, no one's talking about you. No one's talking about you or you. And then, so it could be, and no offense, but it's just, it's kind of, no, you know, people came to see the headliner, and you got exposure, and people ate you, and you kind of took care of things, and you, but the thing is no matter how good your water or your breadsticks or your soup is, it's just, you don't get the respect that you deserve, you know, and on top of that, you paid to be, you know,
bread.
Yeah, bread or salad or water.
It's making me hungry.
So here's the other thing. So I'm trying to make this point, and I'm not. And please, you know, you guys know me. I'm not trying to insult you and say that that's all you are, but that's how the audience views it, you know. And that's the part that really sucks, is that you don't get the respect that you deserve. Now here's the other thing. I'll take it a step further. So now you got bands like we were talking about earlier that are kind of unqualified to be there, because they were, well, I'll sell all these tickets. No one asked them how good they were. No one asked for an MP3. No one checked them out. It was just,
here's your money.
Yeah, here. So now on top of that, we have warm water, wilted lettuce, and cold soup before the headliner goes up. So the crowd, before the headliner even comes on, they got a sour stomach from all the crap that they had to deal with. So how is this good for the headliner? So these headliners are going around knowing this happens, and shame on you headliners for knowing this happens and you're okay with it. Your audience has a sour stomach, and half of them are filling buckets full of puke, you know, before you even come on and play. They're all sick to their stomachs because they've had to deal with all the people that paid your freaking salary to play at this show, and you know, they didn't really get anything out of it, and the audience is upset because they're all, you know, and then you got the other thing where the bands are stacked a mile high. Remember the show we did? I'm not going to say names or whatever, but we did a show where we sold $1,200 worth of tickets. $1,200. And then they were like, well, we don't know if we can fit you on the stage tonight. I was like, what?
Right, excuse me?
I had an envelope, and I was just like, you ain't getting this then. I will walk out with your money and try and stop me. You know, and I had their tour manager standing right in front of me, and I said, you ain't getting this until we decide on whether or not we're going to play.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we just have too many bands. And I'm like, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
I'm not the one that overbooked this show, you are. See, because they got so greedy and so money hungry, they were like, well, let's just keep getting more bands and more bands on. And they stacked them up so high that they ran out of room. And we were supposed to be, there was 2 stages in this building. We were supposed to be on the main stage right before this headliner came on. They kicked us out of there and put us on the kids table.
The milk crates.
Yeah, they put us on the, so.
For $1,200.
For $1,200, and once we decided, we were going to play, here's your money, okay, guaranteed, bring in your gear. Then after that, they said, oh, and by the way, you're over here now. And then before we went on, oh, by the way, you only get 20 minutes now, not a half an hour. So we had to cut songs down. I mean, it was like.
Your songs are like 8 minutes apiece.
Yeah, exactly.
So we played
Yeah.
So
2.5 songs.
Yeah.
So you think that we left there with a good feeling, like, oh, I can't wait to do that again.
Let's go back there.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't even let's go back there. It's just like this pay-to-play thing sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, we got so abused, and we paid to be abused that way. That's why I call it a scam. Now, and here's the other thing I wanted to say too. I'm going to speak for all of us when I say this. Personally, I've added up my gear, that I would bring to a show. So I bring minimally $13,000 worth of gear to a show. My own personal gear, with my guitars and my pedal board and my various other things that go along with it. 13 grand. So I'm going to pay to bring 13 grand of high-end gear that I spent my good hard-earned money on to put on a stage and perform and take care of all this stuff myself, and I'm going to pay for that?
it's going to be hooked up with crappy cables.
Yeah.
And 2 speakers, the sub is broken.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So it's like,
The drunk sound.
yeah. Why are we, that's the problem as a business owner. That's the thing that stirs in my head. And I don't, no, I was going to say I don't mean to be passionate, but I am passionate about this. I mean, it is what it is. But the thing is, though, is I think that something can be done to where I feel when I get done with that show, I go home and I don't feel like I got abused and mistreated. I feel like I was at least respected as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an ego. I don't want rose petals on the ground in front of me wherever I don't know. I just want people to treat me with respect that I deserve as a human being, and I think all of you as well deserve that. Because I got to tell you, as far as musicians and performers go, you guys, I mean, everybody here is amazing at what they do. Really, honestly. And it breaks my heart, to see us not at least being treated like we should. And that's really what this is about. I want us all to be treated better, and I want us to be able to come to some sort of compromise. And I guess, how can we fix this? I mean, we can go back around quickly and just say, what do you think would be a good way to fix this?